Welcome back to the Beginner's Guide. My name is Bob. I'm your host for the evening. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to the platform we just killed the end dragon on, and we're going to go off into the end islands, and we're going to look for what they call an end city. Now, we're looking for a very specific type of end city, and it's going to be the type that contains a boat. So I will show you that in a second. What we're going to take with us is we are going to take some building blocks. So I have these end stone from the fight we've just been on. And obviously the end islands are made of end stone, so there are loads around. You don't actually need to really prepare for that at all. You just mine it out while you're there. What we are also going to take is, if you're on Java, you can take a couple of trapdoors. So we're just going to take 2 of those with us. If you are on Bedrock, this little trick doesn't work, so you'll have to take some ender pearls with you, and I will cover that again when we get there. The other thing we're actually going to take is we're going to take some of this sugar cane that we've been farming. So hopefully, I have been knocking these down while I've been recording, so we got some here. Yeah, that'll be enough. So 3 of those. We can convert those into paper. So again, we're just going to shift click that. As you can see, it takes 3 stacks there, so that gives me 3 stacks here. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to get some gunpowder from our mob farm up there. And this is why we've been saving all the gunpowder. This is why in the previous episodes we were prioritizing gunpowder over everything else. So I think half of our chest actually is set for gunpowder. And we're up here, we're just going to take another 3 stacks of this as well. We have prioritized our gunpowder, everything else in here, because at this point, it's the most valuable thing. We're going to be using a lot of gunpowder. We're going to use a lot of sugarcane, which is why we set them up in the start of the series, just so that you can collect it as you play. And once we have that, we can create rockets. So as you can see, a stack of gunpowder and a stack of paper gives you, it's actually 3 stacks of rockets. So I'm actually just going to make all of those. You don't need this many, but you probably will use this many. So I'm going to put all of these in the chest here. I'm only going to take a stack with me because by default the Elytra we get are very weak durability wise, so we're not going to be using it as much as we want to. We will use it to be able to get home. So I am going to head over to the Dragon Island. And now we are here. We're just going to look for this portal here. So this is the portal we're going to be using, and this takes us further out to the end islands, out and beyond. So what we're going to do is I'm actually just going to take more bricks, because I don't think 26 is really enough to get there. So I'm just going to mine out some more of this. Now, if you notice, I've still got my carved pumpkin on because there are loads of endermen out in the end islands, and we don't want to upset them while we're working and while we're traveling. And now I've got enough bricks. I hope that should be plenty. I'm just going to line myself up as best as I can. Is it this one? Is it this one? I'll go from here. And then all we're going to do is we are just going to work our way over to the portal there. See, at this point, having the carved pumpkin on means that you don't upset these guys. There are a lot of them here, and there are all of them in the end islands, so we do need to be aware of that. And there we are. Right, so we've worked our way over to the portal here. As you can see, this is the portal here. And if you're on Bedrock, you need to take your ender pearl and you need to throw it through there to get it teleported out. If you're on Java, we take our trapdoors, we look at this block here at the lower half of it, and we place a trapdoor. We lift the trapdoor, we walk up to it, and we click the trapdoor again. And what that will do is that will force us into crawling mode. Now, Bedrock doesn't have crawling mode, so it doesn't work on Bedrock. But if you're on Java, this is the easiest way to do it. And then you just crawl through the portal. And this takes you out to the end islands. So as you can see, we're on a new area. These are called chorus plants, and we don't use them at the moment, but we will be using them in an upcoming episode. So chorus plants, I'm just going to break this down, give you chorus fruit, which are these things here. Now, the thing about chorus fruits is when you eat them, it teleports you around. It's almost like an enderman hopping around. One of the features we'll be using of this later on is that these chorus fruits will teleport you to a safe block, which means if you get hit by what is called a shulker, which is just a mob later on, it sends you into the air, gives you this levitation buff which sends you into the air. And if you get hit with a lot of them, and the levitation wears off, you can fall to your death. So what we do is we eat these to teleport us back to the floor, so we don't take as much fall damage, or we don't take kind of deathly fall damage. So while we're here, what we're going to do is we're going to take our coordinates. So we're at X. So again, we're looking at the left-hand side over here. We're at X 312, Z minus 986. And what we're also doing is we are taking our seed. So if you type seed in and you press T to go back into the chat bar, it frees your mouse. So you can click this and it copies it to the clipboard. And then once we've got this information, we are just going to pause it. And we're going to go over to our old friend, chunkbase.com. So now we're here on Chunkbase. We go into our apps. We go down to Nether End. And what we're looking for is an end city. The seed is already in there because the last time we were here. And then what we do is we put in our location taken from the game into these boxes, just as we did on the previous time we used this. So that's where we are. And it tells us where we are, and it tells us all the end cities around us. So as you can see here, there are two different types. We have the black one here, which is with the end ship, and we have the grey one, which is without the end ship. So if I can zoom in a bit, you see in the bottom right-hand corner here, the black one says with ship, the grey one says without ship, and we need a ship. That is what we're looking for. That is what we're doing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, which one do we reckon is closer? We'll go for this one. So X1000, Z minus 250. And we are going to go back into our game. So we're back in the game here. So what we need to do, so X, again, we're looking at these coordinates here. So X is that way. And then we want to go to minus 250, which is actually that way. So we're just going to run off in this direction until we get to X1000 and Z minus 250. It doesn't look particularly good, that, because I'm going off into the void over there. The other thing we need to do is we need to write down these coordinates, because that there is also our way home. We need to use that to get home afterwards. So we need to know where we are going to. Now, a lot of these islands are in fact end islands, and they're all over the void. So what we'll also need to do, again, we have our pumpkin on because there are a lot of endermen here, is we'll have to dig up a lot of these islands to bridge across to the islands we're after. So that is what we're looking for. We're looking for these end cities, and that is what it looks like. So it's basically just a couple of rooms here with a tower. And the important thing about these cities is we were looking for the ones with ships. Now, the ships are probably exactly what you're imagining when I say ship. Old school kind of pirate ship, for example. So I've been digging a lot of the islands as I've been working over because I've needed to bridge. I think I'm going to go across here. I think this seems to be directly in line with that, and then directly in line. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to dig away a lot more of the island here, and then I'm just going to bridge out. Again, we're holding shift as we do this. If you fall in the void there, you will die and you will lose everything. Everything is lost. All the items, I should say, everything you're carrying on you is lost. So it's not a case of you can just run back and pick it up. Right, here we are. We made it across. Much mining away and much bridging. This is what the city looks like. So now we're just going to go and we're going to find the boat. I'm also going to mine a bit more brick here because I think I'm going to need it. So there's the boat. It's actually really high up there. I'm definitely going to need some more brick. Now, when you get to these cities, they have a new mob called a shulker, which are much like the mimic chests in kind of fantasy RPG stuff. So you know the chest where you walk up to it, it looks like a treasure chest, you open it, but instead of nice shiny loot, it's got teeth and tentacles and stuff. So these things will open and they will shoot things at you, which cause you to fly up. So as we levitate, can I get hit, please? So now we're levitating up. We can eat this and it will teleport us back to the floor because that's a safe block. And we'll be using that later on, not so much in this episode. Where is the ship? This ship is really high up, so bear with me. So I have a stack and a bit. Hopefully that's going to be enough. It's actually really high up, so it might not be. But what we're going to do is we're going to just go underneath the boat and we're just going to pillar straight up. Yeah, we're going to have enough, which is perfect. So I'm just going to break in from underneath here. I'm just going to dig through these blocks to get me into the boat. As I come in here, there is a shulker mob in here, and there are 2 ways to kill them. The first way is with a sword, and the second way is with a bow and arrow, much like everything else. But the thing you need to be aware of is that you have to hit them when their shell is open. If they're closed, your arrows and your swords will bounce off. The other thing is they will shoot these projectiles at you while you're in here, so you can block them with a shield, and if you're skillful enough, you can hit them out of the air as well. So we can come up here, we're just going to block that, and we're going to hit him while he's open. The other thing you can do is you can hide behind this pillar, had you come in from a different area. You can hide behind this to block the projectiles and shoot with the bow, as long as you hit him when his shell is open. So this is what we're here for. These are the Elytra. You just hit them to take them out of the item frame. Now these, they go on instead of your breastplate, which means you lose a bit of armor. So down the bottom here, you can see our armor there. It drops quite a bit. However, most people think it's worth it. In here, let's have a look. That's really nice. That's a shame. It's a shame we're not going to be using chest plates, because that's the best chest plate you can get. There's nothing else I'd put on there. It's a shame. And in here, nah, it's rubbish. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the Elytra on. To activate these, you have to press jump while you are falling. In Java, it's easy enough because you press jump and then you press jump again and it forces you into fly mode. So as you can see there, I kind of up and down, but the down was much slower. It was kind of floaty, and that's because it has been activated. In Bedrock, pressing jump for a second time will not force you into fly mode. So you either have to jump off something a bit higher, launch yourself into the air somehow, or what I used to do was I used to spam jump 3 times followed by rocket. That would put you into fly mode, but because you're only falling by 1 block, the rocket means you shoot off. So the rockets here are how we propel ourselves with the Elytra on. And while you're flying, you just press the rocket and it shoots you off. Now, by default, these have a terrible durability. They do not last long at all. So we're going to use this to get back home again. But otherwise, we're not going to go too crazy with them just yet. They do need, ideally, unbreaking to enhance the durability and mending so they don't break. On the upside, when they do break, you don't lose them as an item like you do everything else. So if you break your pickaxe, the item itself disappears and you have to craft an entirely new pickaxe. With Elytra, if you break these, you have a new item where it's just broken Elytra. So it means if you do break them, you don't have to come out and get any more. You can just repair the ones you have. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to come back out here. We're going to drop down a few. And we're going to fall off the side here. We're going to press jump to put us into fly mode. And then we're going to use our rocket to propel us. Now we need to get home again. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to where we came from. And we're going to use the portal we came in through. Unless, of course, you found any other portals on your way over. It may be that you have found them en route because you can find them all over the place. I didn't, so I'm going to go back to the ones where I came from. So just checking my notes there, I came in at 312 minus 986. It's actually safer. Let's not hop off the side there. It's actually safer to go up the top. So we're just going to do that. If you don't activate the Elytra, it means that you're not falling to your death. You're just falling to the deck here. So rockets on. We are going to, I'm going to 312, which is that way, and I believe that way. 312 minus 986, that way. I'm going that way. So jump, jump, fire. And this is basically how it looks. That's a long old bridge that. It took a lot of stone. So here we are. I am back home. I'm just going to come in for a landing. You need to be careful about how you land as well, because if you go straight down, you can take a lot of damage. It carries your momentum. So if you face plant the floor, you're going to kill yourself. So you need to be careful about how you come in. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. I'm actually going to get some more stuff. So I'm just going to Careful, mate. I almost hit you in my axe. I'm just going to do the same thing as before. We're just going to pillar up to this. And we do the same thing as before. So put the trapdoor on the block there. We jump up to it. We hit it to knock us down. We walk back through here. And this will take us back to the dragon platform, which you see here. So we just do what we did last time. And we can just jump through the middle portal here to take us home. And we are home. So this is why we have so much priority on the gunpowder in the farm there, and why I've been kind of digging away these sugarcane that's been playing. Hopefully you have too, so that we have quite a nice stock in there for lots of fireworks. So the firework rockets, if I just go up straight up to the air here, so I double jump there to put me into fly mode and then hit the rockets. So as you can see, you travel far more quickly with these rockets than you do walking. So this gives you way more freedom to explore your surroundings. It gives you way more freedom to travel around. It gives you way more freedom to go and look for things that you might want. Maybe you want other types of wood. Maybe you want other types of brick. There are lots of biomes which give lots of different things. So this gives you freedom to go around, pretty much go wherever you want. So at this point, you have full freedom to do whatever you want in the game. You can go wherever you want. You can do whatever you want. And these wings just make it possible for you to do that. I will say, however, as you can see there, the durability has already taken quite a big hit, and we haven't really done that much flying. So what I tend to do is, to keep them safe, I tend to put them away until I can enchant them. I'm actually going to put my legs back on as well. Where are my legs? There are my legs. So I put my legs back on, put my helm back on, and I'm going to put these away. So what we'll be doing in the upcoming episodes is we will be taking advantage of one of the most broken game mechanics known as villager trading. And villager trading will give you the option of getting enchanting books. So that's the end of that episode. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. And let me know how you say Elytra. Do you say Elytra or Elytra? Put that in the comments. 1 Elytra, 2 Elytra. And I will see you in the next episode where we go looking for some villagers. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye-bye.